Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I am coming back at you with our Wargaming Wednesday morning events. Okay, well, in this episode, I actually have a little bit prepared. Over the last couple of days, I've actually been thinking about what I was wanting to talk to you about today. Well, the first thing I want to talk to you about is I'm going to take a sip of my tea. Hang on. And yes, the water was boiled in a kettle. And I used a tea bag. All right. Okay, yeah. I was going to leave it over here because if I showed you miniatures up here, I didn't want it to drop into my tea. All right, so I made a little change to the camera and the lighting so that it would actually show up better. But now that I'm looking at my screen, I'm kind of a little disappointed with it. So let's go in and change it again. I'm going to change it one more time. I could put exposure to auto. There, it got a little darker, didn't it? Whoa, that's darker. Wait a second. Yeah, I guess 3 is probably the best. We're going to go with that. All right, so sorry about that. Okay, I wanted to talk to you about a bunch of different things. And I made like a little agenda that I can read off of, maybe speed up my ramblings a little bit, but it will never slow me down. You can't stop this brain from working. Okay, so first thing I want to say, I've got upset stomach, right? I must have ate something last night that didn't agree with me. I've been up all night with diarrhea. Sorry that you had to hear that from me, but I'm kind of just now recovering from that. I just ate breakfast, so hopefully that will stay down. If not, if I have to get up and go use the bathroom or something like that, I just wanted to give you a heads up so you know what's going on. All right, so in front of you on the table here, we have, and I'm noticing that my hand is, I think it's because I'm not doing things automatically that my camera can't handle it. And so the frame rate seems to be a little low, but that's okay. We don't care about our frame rate on this camera, do we? No, not really. Just as long as you get to see the figures. I've got some trees here, and I've got some 15mm Old Glory. The 15mm Old, and it only took me 2 days to paint those. What is there? 48 figures there. 2 bags. Each bag comes with like 24 figures. 2 bags of Flank Company models, and I made these all as the light companies. Now, 2 bases would equate to 1 battalion's worth of skirmishers. But that's not, that was the philosophy when I was gluing them down on their bases. But there's a lot I want to talk to you about base sizes, figure sizes, number of bases, etc., etc. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. And then the reason why I've got all these trees out here, these are all N-scale model railroading trees that I was able to pick up. Actually, I got these on Amazon, to be honest. And I glued them onto a 1-inch fender washer. And what I did was I put a little, because fender washers have holes in the middle of them. So I put a little bit of that putty on the inside. I used flex paste, or I should say latex acrylic. It's called Alex paste. I use it a lot. I put it in there and then let it dry for about, I don't know, 12 hours. It says it only needs an hour or so to dry before you can paint it, but I went ahead and let it dry for an hour or 12 hours overnight, basically. And then I went and glued the trees down because it's an acrylic latex, it still has a little bit of flexibility to it, a little bit of give. It's not like the plaster. Like I used a lot of that spackle plaster before in the past, and that is it dries very powdery and very rigid, just like your drywall, right? That's what it's made for. But this flex paste, when it dries, it's not 100% rigid. It's got kind of a give to it, so you could actually push on it and you could still shape it a little bit. But the main reason why I wanted to do it for my trees was so that once it dried in the hole, I could still shove the tree stem down into it. And and then I used Gorilla Glue, Gorilla Sure Grip, which is kind of like a E6000 style glue. It's kind of like a rubber cement almost kind of thing. And then I stick it down inside there and let it dry. And then once that dried, I went over it with, this morning, I went over it with 2 colors of my grit, which was the muddy ground and the medium brown. And then I did all these figures in medium brown. Now I just did these an hour and a half ago. It should be dry. Everything should be dry. But the reason why I have these out is not really for our discussion today, but I am planning on filming a video specifically after this, later this afternoon, and I will upload it. But I have a special treat for everyone. I have received some new flock. Okay. I don't know what it is about ground texturing and grass and flocking and what all of that is supposed to look like, or not look like, but what pleases me. I don't know what the obsession is that I have with that, but you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to reset my camera controls. Okay, why? Okay, that looks right. I think the best I can do on that is 40. That's 38. That's good. That's good. Still looks kind of dark to me. I don't have my other light on, which might be impacting the backlight. But that's okay. I'm sorry, I'm technical difficulties here. Oh, that changed. Okay, we gotta fix that. There, okay. Go there. Ah, here we go. Gonna fix that. That's probably, yeah, we're not getting any delay now, are we? Because I think my lighting's fixed on that. Okay. If I was to bring a model up here, it's not in focus, but okay, we still have lighting on it. Okay, that's good. Okay. So, everybody, if you are new to the channel, or if you're new to this Wednesday morning live stream, you can chat with me in YouTube. If you do chat, I will get it eventually. My eyes don't stay on the chat window, but if it does pop up and I get an opportunity to read it, I'll read your chat and I'll respond to it. So feel free to discuss whatever you'd like to discuss with me. That's a new tea that it's called Stack. I know it's a weird name for it, right? It's called Stack, but it is a chai spice, right? I've been drinking the Lipton apple cinnamon, which is really good. This just has it's a black tea, so it's got a richer tea flavor to it. I don't know. It's just really good. Okay, so okay. So I told you about my upset stomach. Great. Because I'm feeling it. Okay. But I'm struggling right now. I am struggling, and I want you guys, not physically, I mean mentally. I'm struggling with making a decision. I think I've already made my decision. I think I've made it, but it's not 100% set in stone yet. And part of this is due to discoveries that I've made online. Okay, so let me get this out of the way so when I show you my window, you won't see this. Okay, great. As you know, I ordered some not 12 millimeter. I ordered some 15 millimeter minifigs on the 7th of November. Somewhere around the 15th of November, I got an email saying they received my order. Okay, so a week later, I get an email saying they received my order. I double checked, made sure everything cleared. The payment cleared on the 9th. Okay, so when I got the email on the 15th from Minifig, it said that expect, we're going to ship them out. Expect okay, I'm sorry. I was reading something on the screen. We expect a 21-day delay, or not 21-day delay. Let me rephrase that. Expect your shipment within 21 days. If it's longer than that, contact us. Okay, so I was like, okay, is that 21 days from the 7th, or the 9th when it cleared, or the 15th when I received an email? So about 2 days ago, I sent an email to Minifig saying, okay, I haven't received my order yet. Do you have a tracking number? Did it ship? When should I expect it? If not, should I just wait a little bit longer to get my order? And so basically I was just saying, I'm excited to get these figures in because I want to compare them to my Old Glory 15s. Well, they sent me an email the very next day saying, okay, I'm going to cast them either today or tomorrow, which would have been yesterday or today. That was very disappointing to me. I considered that a fairly good-sized order, in the hundreds of dollars. And they haven't even cast them yet. Well, that's telling me that they don't have those figures on hand, pre-cast, sitting on their shelves somewhere. Okay, I get. I can accept that. Somewhere on their website, it should say. So, yeah, somewhere on there. I'm sorry. There's this text on the screen that's distracting me, and I'm going to show it to you here in just a minute. But there is somewhere on their website it should say, once you place your order, contact us. Give us time to cast the models, which I'm going to assume takes 2 or 3 days. Well, depending on the size of the order, you know. It might take a week or whatever to cast them. Then we will ship them, and you should receive them within 21 days. Not wait 21 days, contact us, and then we'll cast it, and you'll get it 21 more days. Yeah, so that pissed me off. I'm going to have to say that that level of professionalism struck me as subpar. Let's just say that. Let's just say subpar. But I'm not upset. I'm really not mad. I guess I'm disappointed, or I'm upset that I didn't send him an email the minute I placed the order. I'm upset that, or I'm disappointed in the fact that I might not get him by Christmas or whatever, you know. So now, it's okay if I don't get him by Christmas. That wasn't the whole purpose. So the reason why I was upset was they didn't even cast them until I sent them the email. That kind of, and their store, or that tells me that they either don't get emails from their store letting them know that there's been an order placed, or they don't read their emails from their store, or something. So there's something a little disconcerting there. And so that's going to be in the back of my mind on my main question that I'm having, because I told you I've got this problem that I have, and that just is going to add into that problem. Okay. So just to let you know, I've placed an order for like every flag, well, not every, but more than half of the flags that I'm going to need from Fighting 15s. Right? I'm going to get almost every flag sheet I'm going to need. Well, I think I'm going to get every flag sheet I'm going to need, allied wise, from Fighting 15. I think I'm going to do French through GMB. Okay. Or at least I thought I was going to do French through GMB. Okay, because that now adds into the problem that I'm having. I'm kind of beating around the bush because I'm saving my problem till for impact. Oh yeah, I was going to show you. This is what I was going to do. I was going to show you something. I got something special. I ordered some static grass. Can you see that? You can't see it, but I ordered some static grass from Knock. Right, this is their meadow. It's not the spring meadow. The spring meadow is very light colored, almost like a light green. This is just meadow, which is more of a OD green, or a like blended turf color. It's more like a field grass kind of color. And this is 1.5 millimeters. 1.5 millimeters, which is the size of my spring meadow, and that's the one that I was really excited for on my limbers, right? Well, I got this in, so I've got to test it, right? That's gonna be test one, and then I also got this in, which is a Woodland Scenics 2mm, which almost every static grass company sells it by millimeter, and you got 2, 4, 7 is what I've seen, right? I'm sure there's probably a few others, but 2, 4, and 7 are the main ones, and they recommend the 2mm grass, or at least Woodland and a lot of these other companies are recommending 2mm for N scale modeling. Well, N scale modeling is 10mm. That's great. That's going to be perfect for 15s, or these trees are actually labeled as N scale. So yeah, so we're gonna test this as well in the video I'm going to make after this live stream. And I'm going to compare it against all my other flock that I've got. Like, how many flocks did I bring out? I've got Citadel flocks, 1, 2. I've got Knock and Bush. I've got Scatter. I've got Burnt Grass, Woodland Scenics, Blended Turf. I even have some clump foliage, some really small clump foliage, which I'm going to try on these 15mm just to see what the clump foliage might look like as bushes on top of the static grass. But I'm going to do all of that in this video after this live stream. So that's going to be a little bit of a recording session, drying times, and with the recording session and the drying times, it's going to be a few hours of recording and editing. So expect that to go live sometime this evening. Okay, so check back with the channel on that. Okay, now, as a channel, I am going to actively seek out some sponsors. I haven't done this yet. I know I'm talking a little admin right now, but this really isn't on my agenda. So, and that's why I was saying you can't stop, you can't hold me back. But I'm gonna be reaching out to some companies for sponsorships, not like super actively. What am I trying to say? Like, where they, okay, this is what I'm gonna ask for basically. Send me some product and I will review it for you on my channel. In addition to that, if they want to give me like a code that you can use on their website to get a discount, and that code would relate to maybe me getting a discount or me getting paid or whatever, that would be kind of a secondary thing. It's not that I want to get paid for doing this. What I enjoy doing, and this is kind of a okay, fixing my tripod. What I enjoy doing is getting product in, painting it, modeling it, building it, and then looking at it personally and seeing if I like it or not, and then getting onto the YouTubes and letting you guys see, like I'm getting ready to do with this flock. I got it in personally. I'm going to put it on some trees, put it on some infantry bases, and I'm going to show you and give you my opinion on whether 2mm flock is as good as my 1.5mm flock. I had ordered some more flock. I got 2 more flocks coming in. One is from like a company called Stone Mountain, and another one is called not JTT. It might be TTG, like Tabletop Gaming or something like that. But I ordered some of those flocks in, and I'll do a review of those when those come in. And those are also 2mm flocks. They come in a much larger bin, and that's why I ordered them, was because the cost per quantity ratio was so much lower. I wanted to see if the quality was any good. Okay, but what I'm trying to get at is, if you like seeing me doing reviews of different miniatures like Old Glory or minifigs or Warlord, Perry, Front Rank, anything like that, if you want to see more a variety of miniature or hobby related reviews, like the paste thing that I did, that was another review I did. If you want to see those, what I'm asking for is a little bit of financial aid, right? So if you want to support the channel, you can do super chats, or you can hit the PayPal me link in the description below, and that's going to help me get different product in so that I can review it for you guys. If you don't want to do that, or if you're incapable of doing that because maybe you're out of work, or it's that time of year, or there's the economy going on right now, I understand all that. So if you're incapable or unwilling, don't worry about it. Just enjoy the videos and just like and subscribe to the channel, because that helps as well, and it doesn't cost you anything. And yeah, enough of that. So I'm just giving you an opportunity. If you want to help, or if you want to support the channel, please feel free to do so. Okay, so here's my problem. I thought I was going to go with Epic Waterloo, right? Well, I'm going to do, I've already decided that 28mm is a great scale for like small battles, right? Kind of like bolt action. 28mm, great. American War of Independence, probably okay as well. Ancients, like Romans and stuff, probably okay. Maybe not, because some of those battles were pretty big. So what I'm just saying is, if you're going to put a division or 2 on the table, maybe even 3 divisions on the table, 28mm, or like a core, 28mm is great. That works perfect. But if you want to go larger, like if you want to get 2 cores on the table, or like I want to do Waterloo, so I'm looking at like 6 cores on just the French side, maybe more actually, and the Allied, they've got a couple of cores as well, and then the Prussians have got a number of cores. Actually, the Prussian cores are not like French or British cores. The Prussians, their scale of how many troops were in a corps is a little different. So, but that's okay. I'm still talking about 10 plus cores of troops on the table. I can't do that in 28mm. I made that decision. I've come to that. That first half of the decision is done. I've got that out of the way. The second half of that decision is, okay, so we've decided that 28 millimeter battalion, like 40 millimeter, 4 figures on a 40 millimeter base will not work for the kind of games that I want to play. Okay, because I wanted to be able to do Quatre Bras, right? But I don't want to have 3,000 figures on a side, which currently is what I have almost 3,000 figures painted right now. and I still have about 10 more battalions to go. So I've decided to scratch that project. Basically just stop where I'm at. Maybe that tea will help settle my stomach. Okay. So let me eliminate some of this so I don't reread it and rethink that I'm doing it. Okay, boom. We ordered our flags from Fighting 15s. Did that already. Waiting for them to come in. Minifig delays. We talked about that. Scale decision. Okay, so this is where we're at. I'm trying to decide what scale I want to do it in. Part of the discussion that I'm having with you guys, and it's basically just part of the. I'm not really asking you. I'm basically telling you, because what it comes down to is what I like, what I want on my table, what room I have on my table, what kind of terrain I have, what I'm willing to buy. So really, it's my decision, basically. But I'm sharing my thoughts with you because you might have some interesting insight. You might be able to guide me in a certain direction, but ultimately, it's my decision. Okay. I used to play Napoleon's Battles. Napoleon's Battles, great game. Loved it. Played for many years. Mastered it. Won many tournaments playing that. It wasn't a visually appealing game. And this is important to me now. Back then, I cared about the base sizes, where I placed the bases, where the cavalry bases were placed, how many inches away from another battalion they were, how, do I have them on the react? Do I have, is my opponent pinned? And I'm not like that anymore. I've grown up. I'm not the game mechanics isn't what interests me anymore. If the game has bad mechanics or the wrong mechanics, yeah, that's out. I'm not doing that. But if the game is got some pretty good mechanics, then I'm okay with that. Okay, but I found a few games that I really like that are not Napoleon's Battles. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is scale of the figures. I enjoy Black Powder. Right now, Black Powder is a very fun game for me. I like the majesty of the 28 millimeter models and, the size of them. But the problem with 28 millimeter is the fact that they're big. And because of that, you can only put like 4 figures on a base. I understand that there is a convention out there, a philosophy where you can put 6 figures on a base and it looks much better. That's true. But what that does is it makes the base bigger, and it makes the area that I'm taking up bigger. And that's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is shrink the area that I need, which will expand the opportunity for bigger battlefields if I use smaller figures. Okay, so I kind of went back to my roots, and I got some 15 millimeter Old Glory models, thinking that I could do 15 millimeters and make it a bigger game, or more majestic, or if you want to call it epic game. And then, before I committed to this, Warlord released, or is about to release, a game for Black Powder called Epic, right? It's a different scale. It's N scale, or I should say it's American N scale, or is it European N scale? I don't know, but I hear that they're 13 millimeters tall. I'm going to have to wait to actually measure them for myself. And this is where my scale decision comes in. I'm going to wait until this is probably going to happen in January. I'm going to wait till I have all these miniatures in my possession, and then I'm going to compare them, and I'm going to determine at that time, so it's going to be January or so, that I'm going to determine which direction I want to go. Okay. So what I've done was, I hearing that they were 13 millimeter, I kind of looked around the internet, and you guys have probably done the same, and I tried to find 12 millimeter, because I heard there were some 12 millimeter Callistras that matched up with the American Civil War, right? Figures. I watched a few videos where some guys were saying that the Callistra 12 millimeter models are very close to the Epic models, if not exactly the same, for the American Civil War. Now, I'm going to assume that the Epic Napoleonics are the same size as their Epic ACW. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm going to assume that. And so if that is the case, then I was thinking, okay, let's get some Callistra 12 millimeters to supplement my my armies, because like there's no Prussians, there's no Brunswickers or Netherlanders, Dutch Belgians, or Guard units, or none of that, or Limbers, or there's nothing like that, right? Advertised. It might or might not come out from Warlord, but right now it's not advertised. So I went to the Callistra site, and guess what I found? Not 12 millimeter Napoleonics. They have other scales in Napoleonics. They have 12 millimeter American Civil War, which is great for those of you guys that do American Civil War. But as you know, I'm not doing American Civil War. So I figured, okay, Napoleonics, 12 millimeter. Let's scour the web. I look everywhere on the web, and I can find 0 12 millimeter or 13.5 millimeter Napoleonics. None. So I decide let's broaden my horizons a little bit. Let's look for N scale, because, you know, that's what they claim that the epic is. They claim it's the N scale. And that's why I got these N scale trees here. Okay, so I find something. I think I might be able to show you on my screen here. Nope, not those guys. Yeah, these guys right here. Center display. Where do I get that at? Right there. Okay, so let's see if I can fix this. Hang on. Why is that not moving? Ah, there we go. That looks good. Now, if I was to do one of these numbers, make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Okay, so I find that GHQ, a very well-established company, one that I've done a lot of business with over the years. I knew they had 10 millimeter American Civil War stuff, and I knew they had 10 millimeter, or I should say N scale model railroading vehicles, like trucks and bulldozers and vans and stuff like that. I didn't realize that they had N scale Napoleonics, 160, right? So my understanding is that the Epic Waterloo from Warlord is going to be 144. So 144 compared to 160, I don't know what the difference will be, right? But I went ahead and put an order in for some 10 millimeter GHQ, hoping that this was going to be on par with my, I think I ordered this regiment. I think I did order the Brunswick and the Nassau's, but okay, $21.95. This is $21.95. But let's just open this up. I want to show you what you get for $21. You get 24 Nassau Fusiliers, 8 Grenadiers. These are the Grenadiers with the bearskin, right? And then you got your Fusiliers. You got Flankers, right? So that's another 16. The officers, that's 20. And then the flag bearers and the drummers. That's a lot of figures. How many is that? 24 and 16, that's 40. And then 10 more. So you're getting 50 models for $21.95. Okay, so let me just go ahead and jot that down. 50, $22. We just call it $22. To me, that's and all the payment methods they take and all that. It just says roll over image to zoom, but look at the detail on that. For a 10 millimeter model, that's better than these Old Glories, I believe. I mean, I'll show you up close these Old Glories here in just a second. But that detail is pretty good. I mean, I'm definitely digging that. Okay, and then I also got that picture is the wrong picture for the Lieb infantry. What else did I order? I didn't order a whole lot. Maybe, no, yeah, I think I ordered this one too. So it's still 50. Now this is a much closer picture, but look at the detail on that. Those guys look good. And what really impresses me is the when you get straps and you get cross belts and you get slings and barrels and even the plate on the Shakos. I'm looking at the detail on this, buttons even. A 10mm model with look at the straps on the drummer. I was impressed. Let's just say I was impressed. So I ordered those. Not a whole lot. Just I'm oh wait, let me show you something else. They carry a bunch of this other stuff too, but it might be on page 1. Let's see. Here, right here. I ordered a couple of these. I think I ordered the British one and the French one. It is a sample pack, right? The sample pack, where is it at? Yeah, model railroading N scale. Okay, great. Contains some men, horses, and a gun. Okay, so that's letting me know like how big the horses are going to be, how big the cannons are going to be, how big the infantry is going to be. Am I going to be able to use these figures for any reason? Maybe, maybe not. They might be Russians or Austrians or Prussians. Actually, this one here is the French, right? Yeah, French samples. So I probably will be able to use them. But I ordered them mainly so that I could just get a scale comparison, basically. And then in addition, I'm just going to go ahead and close this page. Yeah, that's this page. Okay. Okay. And then I find out, watching someone else's video on YouTube, that Old Glory, my trusted Old Glory, actually sells 10mm models. I didn't know this. I did not place an order because I just learned this last night. And I pulled this website up this morning to show you guys. You can get 100 figures for $21. Yeah, I'm going to put that on there. I didn't order it. 100 for 21. Okay. That's basically twice as good as the GHQ. The problem is, if these Old Glories are like these Old Glories, they're not going to be as detailed. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just kind of looking at, like, they sell the flank companies separate, and you can see the flank company is 50 figures, and that's probably because of the plumes, right? And the epaulets, I guess, epaulets and plumes, for just over half, right? So they're charging a little extra for their, but that's still cheaper than GHQ. But GHQ, it seems like, gives you everything you need, because Old Glory, you got to buy the command separately as well. So, but let's say you buy the flankers and the command at $30, and the line for $21. You're paying $50 for 200 models. And with those 200 models, you could probably make quite a few different bases. We'll be getting into bases here in just a second, but look at that, the way they've got them kind of grouped as 5. I wonder if, because like my old GHQ infantry, if you remember GHQ back in the day, they used to sell micro armor, 6mm infantry, but they came as a squad of 10 guys, all 5 in the front, 5 in the back, one model. And it was kind of like the way Epic Warlord Games is going to do it, where they have 10 in the front. Okay, but this, if it's a 5-figure strip, that's still okay. I'm actually very okay with that. Okay, so not only do they sell 15s, but I didn't realize that they also sold 10mm. That was a shock to me. Okay, but I don't have an order in for these guys. Will I? I think I will. Okay, so let's close that. Yeah, so there's another company out there. Yeah, Magister Militum. Okay, they sell a variety of different 10mm ranges. Okay, and they also stock the GHQ for the Napoleonic eras, and they have their 10mm figures are roughly 160 scale. This is what I was reading earlier, which is saying it's the same as the GHQ, right? They should stand about 10mm tall, foot to eye, but there has been scale creep in our ranges tending between about 11mm. Okay, so and plus they also carry all different kinds of ranges, like medievals, prehistoric, even dinosaurs. Okay, and fantasy. So I don't see American War of Independence. I thought they did though, because I got the 10mm selected here. Okay, let's uncheck the Napoleonics, right? It'll refresh. There we go. Revolutionary War. That's not American War. See, that's Moroccans and Austrians, and that's a different revolution. Age of Reason would be correct, but that's only buildings. Okay, that's neither here nor there. I'm not shopping for American War of Independence. I was actually shopping for Napoleonic. So we come down here, Napoleonic Wars, boom, there we go. Yeah, so they have a 10mm, we'll call it 11mm, and they also have their own game, right? It's it sends resultants, right? And that's pretty cool. Now, let's take a look at, they've got everything. But here, let's just go look at the Nassau. Actually, let's not look at Nassau. Let's look at Belgians, because I know I ordered some Belgians. Okay, So just looking at this, we've got Belgian infantry. I like how they just have one figure on a base. That's pretty cool. But they have like Dutch infantry. They should have militia too, I think. I thought I saw somewhere. They have the light dragoons, the hussars. They have everything you need. And the carabiners, they're the ones with the fur hats. Right. I think I ordered these guys. Okay, £7.70, right? To me, I was thinking, well, that's pretty expensive, right? £7. What does that equate to in dollars? $9.30. Okay, so $9. We'll just call it $9. $9 for a pack of Belgian infantry. Well, how much does that cover? Well, it has 12 flank and 20 center plus an officer, musician, and 2 standard bearers. Well, hell, how much is that? How much is that? That's 32, 33, 34, 36 figures for $9. $36, 9 simoleons. Okay. To me, and plus you can decide if you want to get marching or advancing. I chose marching because it looks like this, and it'll fit better on bases. Marching is going to have, or advancing is going to have his bayonets down low, which I could get 2 packs and put these guys as the back rank, and then the bayonets down low as the front rank on bases, and that would look pretty awesome actually. But I just wanted to order 1 pack, right? And I think I ordered 2 or 3 packs. At $9 a pack. That's for what did I say, 36 models. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I've heard that they have really good figures. So I kind of just took a look at some of the models from some of the other lines. Those look pretty good. I mean, this painter really likes the whole black lining idea, but that flagpole is pretty big. I'm pretty happy with that, and these guys look pretty good, right? Not too worried about that. This must be, okay, this must be a unit. This is a brigade. Okay, what I noticed about Magister Militum was, and I'm excited about it, was they sell, like you saw earlier, the 36 figures for $9. But if you wanted to buy a brigade, you get a lot of different of those type of packages, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just a couple of individuals. So what's 5 times 9? That's $45. You're getting it for 32 pounds, which might be about the same. But you get that general, you get an ADC for your command stand. I guess generals and ADC packs. I don't know how many you get in those packs. I think you actually get these 4 in the general pack. Yeah, because right here it says you get 2 packs of hussars, 24 figures. You get 2 packs of light dragoons, 24 figures, 1 unit of horse artillery, which is 3 guns, and 1 general with ADC. But it also gives you the bases needed for their game, right? And you also get I do believe that you get a sheet of flags with this with the brigade and the core packs. Cores are like much bigger, obviously, but it's kind of designed with their game in mind. You just have to kind of I don't think I'll be getting these packs because I don't need their bases, and that might be worked into their cost as well. I noticed they had some 144 scale stuff, but it's not Napoleonic, right? So if you go to the 10 millimeter Napoleon, I'm very impressed with this company. And one additional reason why I'm impressed with this company, I looked at their packaging of their models. It's very store, kind of like Warlord Games. It's very store oriented. Like the box itself has like a color image on the front. It says what it is, and on the back it tells you the contents, and it's got like a barcode and everything else on these packages, where as a store I could get those in and I could display them on my shelf, where in this case I could get them in and I could sell them on my store. So I'm going to actually pursue a trade deal with these guys, and we'll see if that works out, as well as a sponsorship. We'll see how that works out. But I was pleased that when I placed this order 2 days ago, I placed this order. Yesterday, I got an email that it's already shipped. That just not only did the packaging tell me that they are professional, the website tells me that they are professional. It's a very nice looking website. You can even, I don't know, you can't see it, I cut it off, but you got the Waterloo map on the backside. So that obviously triggered me. But then I got an email immediately after I placed the order telling me that it's shipped already. They're now the trick is, when I get the models in, are they going to be good models? Because they might be crap, right? But I doubt it. I heard so many good things about this company. So I ordered some more 10 millimeter. So I got some GHQ and Magistrum or Magister Militum coming in. Now, one more. Let's go ahead and close this site. Okay, so I'm on this Pendragon site. I hear a lot of people order from Pendragon, right? They say it's good stuff. If I want to get it by Christmas, I got to place it by the 6th. Okay. Well, that's just an estimate. I don't have an account with these guys, but because I had ordered so many 15 millimeter flags, I was afraid, and I still am, that I'm not going to go the 15 millimeter route. I'm leaning towards going 10 millimeter and epic, or epic end scale 13 millimeter, 12 millimeter, 13 millimeter. I guess if Callistra 12s equate to the Warlord 13s, then maybe the Warlord 13s should just be called 12 millimeter. I don't know. But I'm going to compare them, and I can't compare them until I get them in. I was going to take their flag poles, snip them, add my own flagpoles and put 15 millimeter flags on there. If I can do that, I still will do that. But I'm afraid that I'm going to be switching to 10 millimeter with everything. And if that's the case, I know I needed to find a location for flags. And Pendragon already does sell 10 millimeter Napoleonics, but they also sell, more importantly, 10 mil flags. And then you got the British, and there's like 3 of them. It says 18 flags, but that's not really true. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's because you get I have to have the 2. But with all of these flags and the flags that come with the epic Napoleonics, there should be no problem getting the British flags. And French flags, they are kind of generic. But I guess at 10 millimeter, how detailed do they really need to be? Right? And then if I need to, I can get Prussians. And then where are you at? Is that all of them? Because there's no Netherlanders and no unless there's a couple of pages, but it looks like there's not. So yeah, I don't know if there's going to be any of that. Now, my understanding is, what's this right here? It says Saxon. Yeah, there's no Hanover or any of that. So I'm kind of disappointed with Pendragon flags, but apparently there are companies out there that sell the 10 millimeter flags. Let's close that. There, I was looking at 10 millimeter flag topics. Okay, they're selling Pendragon. Yeah, everybody's saying Pendragon. There's Revo. Okay, but that's 20 millimeter. See, that's not what I want. I want 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter Napoleonic. I don't know what that is. That's eBay. I'm just trying to see if there are. Okay, now I know this. Et Sans Resultants or whatever. They have included in their packaging flags. I do believe. Let's. Okay. Oh, look at that. Dinosaurs. And then you got orc poleaxes. Okay. I'm going to have to go through this website with a little bit more fine-tooth comb. But let's go with... there's decals. I wonder if they sell flags separately. War games accessories? Hey, they still sell the bunker box? Okay. Magnets are always good. Egyptian coffin, okay. Okay, I don't see it. So, let's go Napoleonic Wars. $10 packs, army packs, and unit deals. At sans results. Okay, so let's go to the last page. I don't think they sell flags separately. Okay, but I know they have these packs here, these at sans results, ESRs, right? I guess that's a French one. Mid-late, that's an attachment. Okay, I'm just gonna open it up. Yeah, in these packs, these cores, they come with like reformation areas, which I guess is like an objective, a lot like the old Field of Glory had your campsites. They make those, but yeah, right here, with bases and flags. So I wonder if they sell their flag sheets separately. I don't know, but I'll be able to get some flags, or I might have to take my 15mm flags or up them, or I might have to use my Warlord flags, which are I guess 13mm, and use those. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but here, this is now that we've got all that out of the way. Yeah, I can just close this. Let me go ahead and bring my... So, I'm waiting for the miniatures to come in. So I'm going to compare the miniatures. Hey, Mark. Hey, I just got your chat. Just noticed it, I should say. I can vouch for... Okay, MM. Living close by to them. I often ring an order through, and they have it ready for collection in under an hour. Oh, so they're like they have a store that you can go visit. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, they seem to be very professional. I mean, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that you like them. What do you think of the? Well, obviously you like the quality of their miniatures, obviously, or you wouldn't buy them. Doy. So you obviously vouch for the quality of their figures. That's good. That makes me happy. Okay, so part of the issue that we're having with now, it looks like GHQ is going to be the most expensive from what I can tell here. You get 50 for $22, where Old Glory you're getting 100 for $21, or Magistrum, which you're getting 36 for $9. So it looks like actually the Magistrum might be the cheapest. No. It's Old Glory. Old Glory is the cheapest, then Magistrum, then GHQ. Yeah, so what I need to do is order a pack or two of the Old Glories to see if they are if their 10 mils are worth it, right? Because being very cheap and getting a large bag of 100 miniatures, that reminds me of the old times, Old Glory. Plus, Old Glory tends to be a little bit larger. So if they're like 12 millimeter or something like that, I think I will go with them because I'm trying to get something that matches the Epic Warlord scale. That's really what I'm doing. I'm kind of trying to meet that Epic Warlord scale. But then now here comes my dilemma. Bases, right? These guys right here. I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump to the properties. I'm gonna adjust the focus a little bit. There we go. So these guys right here are my Old Glory 15s, right? And I put 3 on a base because these are supposed to be skirmishers. They're the flank companies. They're not supposed to be, the rank and file guys. What I wound up putting them on is 30 millimeter wide bases, right? So 30 millimeters, what I tried doing was putting them rank and file on a base just to see how many I could fit on a base. And I also tried to do, because back when I did Napoleonics in Napoleon's battles, there was a 20 millimeter frontage, right? And I could put 2 figures side by side on a 20 millimeter frontage. So I said, why don't I try seeing how many I could put on the Epic Waterloo base, which is the 20 by 60. So I figured, okay, let me just go ahead and try putting them on there. The best I could do is probably 7 if I really compress them in there, because I think one of these figures takes up about 10 millimeter square. Actually, more than that. It takes up about 10 millimeter frontage and about 12 millimeter depth. So trying to put 6 figures across was no problem, but then getting the depth, I couldn't fit them on. I couldn't fit, I cannot fit 4 figures on a 20 by 20 base. Can't do it. I can, now Napoleon's battles fought that. They did a 20 millimeter front by 25 millimeter depth, and you could put 2 figures side by side, 4 figures, kind of like black powder. You got your 4 figures on a base. And I was thinking, okay, well, I could do that because all I'm really concerned about is frontage. I don't really care about depth. I don't care about the 20 millimeter depth. 25 millimeter, it's not that big of a deal. I could get some 60 millimeter by 25 millimeter bases and just base them up that way. But then I thought to myself, why put 6 figures on a base and have it bigger and it's still not epic? It's still the same as Napoleon's battles, right? I mean, it's a bunch of guys standing on one base, but that base was way wider than it needed to be. And in black powder, your bases represent your companies, and you have to put them in, you have to organize them based on what formation you're in. And then I look at the strip that Warlord is providing, and they're mixing companies in a strip. Like you'll have your your center companies on this half of the strip, and then you'll have your flank companies on this half of your strip. About 3 figures on the end is the flank company, and then 2 ranks, that would be a total of 6 guys, would be your flank company. And then the rest of your models on a 4 base battalion, you've got 2 bases in the middle, right? And then you've got the 2 bases on the end. The very end of both ends are the flank companies. And so what that's kind of telling me is that I know it's not exactly, but what they're kind of telling me is 1/2 of a base is a company. Which that sounds great, because I could do 30 millimeter bases like these, right? 30 millimeter bases, and just put 2 of them side by side, right? That'd be 60 millimeters, but that would count as 2 bases. So I could do 6 bases, just like I normally would do with black powder, and there would be no change in rules, right? So I could still use my 6 base battalions. They could still form up in march column. They could still form up in 4 rank line or attack column. They could form up in a line. Okay. The line would be shorter than the line would be shorter than 28 mil, because instead of doing 40 millimeters, now I'm doing 30 millimeter frontages instead of 60 millimeter. Because if I take 4 60 millimeter bases, it still equates to what, 24 millimeters across, because you're looking at 1, 2, yeah. So it's still 24 millimeters across if I form a line. And then if I take 40 millimeter bases from black powder, 28 millimeter, and I put 6 in a line, I'm getting, guess what, 24 millimeters. So I didn't lose any frontage. What I lost was depth. And that's the one thing I don't care about. I don't care about how deep the unit is. I care about the frontage. So something went through my mind was, okay, if I've got a 25 millimeter depth on a 15 millimeter model, why don't I just do a 25 millimeter frontage? I could do that, and I could put, and then I'd have a 25 by 25 square base, and I could just put my 4 15 millimeter model, but then it's going to look just like Napoleon's battles, just with the alternative 50 millimeter base. So I was like, or 25 millimeter bases. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I mean, it would still look good, but what I like about the Epic is the rank and file, the ranks of guys, the guys shoulder to shoulder, more than just 2 figures representing a company frontage. If I could get 5 figures in there, then that would be what I needed to do. So Epic says I could do 5, but I would have to take those strips and cut them in half, right? Okay, now here's the problem with that. I'm going to damage something. I'm going to break something. Now I noticed like the Iron Brigade or whatever it was that they sold in Epic, they came as 5-figure strips in metal, and you would mount 2 side by side to make the full Epic thing. If I had 5-man plastic strips in Epic, then problem solved, right? I'll put them on 30mm bases. 2 ranks, that's 10 figures representing a company. That's pretty good. That's 10-1. I'm okay with that. And then it'd be just a little bit bigger than the half scale, right? Because if I'm going to half all my measurements, you would think that my frontage should also be halved, but it's not. It's 2/3, right? But that's okay. It's actually 3/4. Yeah, 30 compared to 40. Yeah. But then, okay, let's back up even more. Back up. So then I thought to myself, why do 6 bases? Why not just do the Epic thing, go with 4 bases, making a square easy, making lines and columns and everything. So 4 bases at 30mm only gets me to 12, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That only gets me to 12mm. That is exactly half of a black powder 6-figure 40mm base. Problem solved. Okay, so I know now, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm doing 30mm frontage, just like these figures. A 30mm frontage. I don't care about the depth. That can be worked out later. 4 figures in a battalion. 4 stands, I should say, in a battalion. Now the issue is when I get these Epic guys in, and I've got knives, I've got hacksaws, I've got snippers, I've got everything I'm going to need. Am I going to be able to get between that 5th and 6th man? Am I going to be able to cut and then maybe sand and trim? And when I paint it, is it going to be, am I going to be able to make them side by side a 5? Am I going to be able to convert that 10-man strip into 2 5-man strips? If I am, and that's where this is all hedging on, well, not all, but it's going to help. If I can do that, I'm going to be able to base my Epics on 30mm frontage, 20mm depth, because they already fit on a 20mm depth, so there should be no problem with putting the second rank of dudes on the 20mm depth. And then when I looked at the GHQ website, and I looked at some other people, I think it was the Magistroms, it looks like they put 5 figures on a 30mm base. Mark, you could probably answer that question. If they put 5 figures across 2 ranks deep on a 30mm wide base, I should have no problem doing that with the Old Glories or the GHQ, and hopefully they're about the same size. They don't have to be exact. These bases are 3mm thick, right? Yeah, that base is 3mm thick. That's just crazy tall. If the Magistroms or the GHQ are just a slight bit shorter, I could put them on a 3mm base and it'll bring their heads up. That's what I was planning on doing with the 15s. I was planning on taking some 0.8mm bases and shrinking their heads down to match. But the problem with the 15s is I can't get more than 3 across, 3 shoulder to shoulder on a 30mm stand. So, so I don't think 15s are going to work. Yeah, I don't like, just looking at this guy right there. The guy that's charging in the closest one to the camera, right? Just look at his foot and the base that he's on. And this is a 25mm deep base. If I had two of those guys front and back, it wouldn't even fit on a 25mm base. So yeah, 15s are, I have some 15s, but I'm not going to touch them. I'm going to let them sit over there. I've got some, I'm going to wait. This is where the waiting comes in. I'm going to wait for the epics to come in, see if I can cut them. I'm going to take a sprue and I'm going to try to cut them in half. If I have to, I can cut the flank companies off because there are 3 figures on the end. I can cut that flank company off, and then I can cut 2 figures off the other side, giving me a 5 in the middle. 5 in the middle. 5 in the middle. And then but then that's only 3 figures. I don't know. I'm going to have to, but they might actually work better putting something like that, like 3 figures, just the flank companies on a base, and then it would symbolize the skirmishers, right? Because they would be more spread out. I don't know. But then there would be those 2 figures on the end that would be wastage. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Now that I think about it, if the strip has the flank companies on them, there's only 3. Yeah, and if I cut that 3 off, I'd have to cut 2 off of the other end. And now, you know, if I cut a bunch of 2s off, I still can't, that doesn't come out to 5. I need a 5-man frontage. So, but if these other figures that I'm ordering equal or very close, then I can put 2 of those 2s and then put a metal miniature in the middle of them or something, you know, just to give it a 5-man frontage. Yeah. Okay. If there is, I don't know, the epics, they come shoulder to shoulder where they're molded as one, and if I cut an arm off of one guy, I'm basically cutting into the arm of another guy, which basically I could do that. Yeah, basically I could cut the 3 guys off of one end, cutting into the figure on the end, and then I would have to cut that figure off as a complete loss. So that would be 1 figure lost. and then the other end, I just cut that one. I basically, what would wind up happening would be I would have a strip of 5 and then a strip of 3 and maybe a single figure out there somewhere. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure it out once I get them in. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try cutting them in half. But if that doesn't work, I'm going to scrap that whole epic idea and just go 10 millimeters, I think. And then I'm just going to put, I'm imagining this 30 millimeter wide base, which is pretty small, when it comes to, I'm used to these 28 millimeter models. I'm going to put 5 figures across there. These figures better be, they're going to be a lot smaller than these 15 millimeters to get, well, maybe not a head height smaller, probably. To get 5 in the front, 5 in the back. And then if it's 10 millimeter, I don't think I'm going to have a problem making it 20 millimeters in depth. So, yeah. Okay, so I don't expect to get my epic Waterloo. Oh, by the way, when I get my epic Waterloo in, I actually am getting in the trade pack. So, and this is another thing. Oh my gosh, I just thought of it. I'm getting the trade pack in, which is a large bundle. It's going to be probably multiple boxes. And I'm going to have multiple starter sets, multiple brigade packs. It's going to come with buildings, paint, all that stuff. It basically, the whole epic Napoleonic line is going to be in that package. It's immediately going to be posted on, the day I get it, I'm going to start, I'm probably going to make a bunch of posts the end of December, and then not submit them until I get the box in. And then as soon as I get the box in, I'm going to go submit, and I'm going to sell all these box sets. I want you to know that if you were unable or you got into it too late, the limited edition figure is in my trade pack. So I'm going to include that. I'm going to have to make some kind of bundles. So when you look on my eBay store, you're going to see some bundles on there. You're going to be able to get some pretty good discounts. Think of it like a pre-order discount, but you're going to get a pretty good discount. And if you're in the States, you'll probably save a little bit on shipping because it's not going to be coming from the US, either through time or the cost of shipping. So if you're thinking about getting into epic Napoleonics and you want to get that the Warlord Games epic Waterloo starter or a brigade pack or a building or something like that, it should go on there. Now they're going to have Hougoumont and La Haye Saint. They're sending me one of each of those. I considered keeping those for myself. Hey, but I think they're 15 millimeters. If they're not, if they're 12s or 10s, then I'm keeping them for myself. But if they're 15 millimeters, which is still a good price or a good scale, it'd be great for like these guys. They're going to go up for sale as well. I've decided I'm not going to pursue the 15 millimeter scale. It's just too big for what I'm trying to do on the battlefield. It was great. It was great for Napoleon's battles. If I wanted to, I could take 4 figures and put them on a 20 by 25 millimeter base, and I could make Napoleon's battles looking brigades and call them battalions and play black powder using 15s, no problem on the table. but I just personally want to have more than 2 across. So that's the problem. And that's why I'm looking forward to this epic when it comes in. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the video here. And we're going to go with, I'm going to work on a video where I'm putting the new flock that I have on there. And I'm probably going to place an order real quick at Old Glory and order a bag or 2 of their 10 millimeters just to see what they scale out to be. You know, because 100 figures for 21 bucks, you can't beat that. I mean, that's 25 cents a figure. That's less than 25 cents a figure. That's 21 cents a figure. That's pretty good. Yeah, and finally, if you want to help support this, the channel, where you can see more comparison videos, where I'm getting ready to compare flock on these guys this afternoon, which you can watch later tonight or tomorrow or whenever. Put that on your schedule. If you want to see more of that, help support the store. Either hit the super chat button or the donate button, or you can hit the PayPal me link in the description below. If not, it's okay. Just like and subscribe to the channel. That helps out the channel a lot too, and people get to see it. And I think that's it. All right. And my stomach feels a lot better, actually. That's good, because it's still not 100%, but I think I'm in the 80 percentile. All right, guys. You guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.